Okay, everybody, I'm going to talk about our next two units, units 2 and 3, which cover quadratics and complex numbers, and the task matrix that we're going to use as you go through these two units. So this is a pretty independent activity. You've got 1, 2, 3 going across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different columns, and within each column you have 3 different levels. You need to start with the left-hand column, the recall column, and even though you can go in any order, the activities are really designed for you to go from the top down. Now, this quiz down here is a self-check quiz, so you can actually take the quiz first and decide whether or not you understand the material, or you can go through the material and then you can take the quiz. You can take the quiz as many times as you want. The idea is to make sure you understand it, so when you take the actual test that you'll be very fluent and capable of doing it within the time constraints that I give you. Remember, I expect you to really know this. So don't just go through an activity and say good enough. Go through that activity, be really thoughtful about whether or not you understand it, and make sure that as you go through it, that everything is solid. Because this is your opportunity to make sure you're really solid on the basis of what we're going to do for Algebra 2 for the rest of the year. So as you go through these, let's suppose that you're on the first column and the second activity. And you'll notice that in each case it's going to give you instructions, and it may give you a link. It may give you an activity. For example, factoring trading cards gives you an activity. Or in the case of something like this, you may have several different activities that show up as you go through them. So this one is very, very complicated, and you need to make sure you do the radical operations before you do the complex number operations. Within the complex number operations, there's going to be a change, and I'll put a note on it in Classroom. But when you get to divide complex numbers, you want to stop, and you want to go wherever that's taking me. Come on, get me back there. You want to go to conjugates, and you want to complete the work with conjugates before you come back and complete this divide and graphing and absolute value of complex numbers. So we're off a little bit on our order, so you need to pay attention to that. Notice in each case you have practice problems to work, plus then you'll have answers posted. If you're not solid at the end of those practice problems, pick some more out. We didn't pick all of them, so you can see where we picked at. You can pick some more. When it says Blitzer, that means the green pre-algebra book, the author is Blitzer. If on the other hand it says McDougall, that's the Algebra 2 book. So pay attention to what it is asking you to do. It's important that you communicate with us if you don't understand something or you work with a group, but overall, make sure you stay on time. I will give you a specific timeline. For example, the first column you'll get 2 days to work on. That's classwork and homework. So pace out your work. Make sure you've got it all finished. When I tell you the test is, you're taking the test, you're taking the test. I'd like you to be prepared. If you have any questions, I want you to post those in Google Classroom.